The prayer of Aksa. The sun rose gently over the quiet lands of Gutu village, brushing the golden fields with soft light. Dusty paths stretched between round thatched huts, and the morning air carried the distant sounds of laughter, chatter, and life awakening. Among the villagers walked Aksa. She moved with quiet grace, a clay pot balanced effortlessly on her head, her eyes calm but distant. There was a kindness in her spirit, something pure, something rare. People greeted her, and she greeted them back with a soft smile. But behind that smile lived the silence. Each evening, as the sun melted into the horizon, Aksa would pause. She would watch other women sitting beside their husbands, laughing, sharing stories, leaning into love as if it were the most natural thing in the world. And in those moments, her heart would whisper a question she could never escape. Will it ever be my turn? By day, Aksa was strong. She worked in the fields, fetched water, helped her neighbors, and carried herself with dignity. No one could easily see the storm within her. But at night, everything changed. Inside her small hut, lit only by the flicker of a fading flame, the silence grew louder. She would sit alone, her thoughts circling like restless winds. Sometimes, tears would fall before she even realized she was crying. The words of others echoed in her mind. She is too quiet. She is different. She is not like the others. Those whispers cut deeper than anyone knew. Still, somewhere within her, a fragile hope refused to die. One night, beneath a sky scattered with endless stars, Aksa stepped outside. The world was still. The village slept. And for the first time in a long time, she allowed herself to be completely honest. She knelt beside her hut, her hands trembling as she clasped them together. Tears filled her eyes, but she did not wipe them away. Instead, she spoke. God. I don't ask for riches, she whispered. I don't ask for anything great. I only ask for love. Her voice broke, but she continued. Send me someone who will see my heart. The night seemed to listen. The stars shimmered above her, silent yet powerful, as if holding her words in their light. And when she finally lay down to sleep, something was different. For the first time in years, her heart felt at peace. Miles away, in a place far beyond Gutu village, a man stirred from his sleep. His name was Arlington. Strong, respected, and admired, he had everything a man could ask for. Yet deep inside him lived an emptiness he could not explain. That morning, something unusual happened. A thought entered his mind, not loud, not forceful, but clear. Go to Gutu village. He sat up, confused. Why Gutu? He had never been there. He knew no one there. It made no sense. And yet, the feeling would not leave. It wasn't just a thought. It was a calling. Without fully understanding why, Arlington chose to listen. The journey was long. Dust rose beneath his horse's hooves as he traveled across open lands, guided only by a quiet conviction in his heart. Days later, as the sun hung warmly in the sky, he arrived. Gutu village. Simple. Peaceful. Alive. And then, he saw her. Aksa stood near the well, carefully lifting water into her clay pot. The sunlight wrapped around her like a gentle embrace. Arlington slowed. Something shifted inside him. It was as if time itself paused, just long enough for two souls to recognize something they had been searching for all along. He approached her carefully. Good afternoon, he said. Aksa turned, surprised, her eyes meeting his. Good afternoon, she replied softly. There was nothing extraordinary about the words. And yet, everything felt different. Their conversation was simple, about the village, about the journey, but beneath each word flowed something deeper. Something unspoken. For the first time in years, Aksa felt seen. Not looked at. Seen. Days passed. Then weeks. Arlington found reasons to stay. He walked with Aksa beneath wide open skies. They sat together under trees, sharing stories, laughter, and quiet moments that needed no words. They prayed together. They listened to each other. And slowly, something beautiful began to grow. The villagers noticed. This was not ordinary. This was something rare. But even in happiness, fear can linger. One evening, as the sun dipped low and painted the sky in shades of gold, Aksa's voice trembled. "What if you leave?" she asked. "Like everything else." Arlington looked at her, not with hesitation, but with certainty. "I didn't come here by accident," he said gently. "I came because you prayed, and I was sent." Her breath caught. Something inside her broke free, fear, doubt, pain, all melting into something new. Something stronger. Not long after, under the very same stars where Aksa once knelt in tears, Arlington stood before her again. But this time, he knelt. "Aksa," he said softly, "will you marry me?" Tears filled her eyes, but they were no longer tears of sorrow. They were tears of joy. "Yes," she whispered. Their wedding brought life to Gutu village in a way it had never seen before. Laughter echoed. Music filled the air. People danced, celebrated, and witnessed something truly special, the answer to a prayer. Aksa, once lonely and forgotten, now stood hand in hand with the man who had been sent to her. And that night, as the celebrations faded and the stars returned to their quiet watch, Aksa looked up once more. But this time, she was not searching. She was thankful. Because deep in her heart, she finally understood. God had heard her all along. Subscribe for more Lifetime stories.